Test, test, test. Let me know how we sounding. Test, test, test. All right, we sounding good. So literally, y'all, I'm gonna wait for some more people to hop up in here. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? So we got a few setups we're looking at. Actually, we're gonna talk about it now. Fuck. Literally every chart but GJ went as projected yesterday, right? So remember in the live stream yesterday, I was talking about I really like gold and GU, and then remember at the end of the live stream, I said we're switching to US30 because I like buys on US30. Well, guess what? US30 ended up flying, making all-time highs yesterday. Gold, we took that gold setup of the New York Open, ended up flying. GU ended up flying all day yesterday as well. So now we're going to be looking for continued GU buys. We're going to be looking for mainly going to be looking at gold and GU buys, and then we're going to be looking for NAS buys right here. That's the game plan right now. This would have been a nice setup to catch, but obviously it did the move and the retest an hour ago. So we're either going to look for price to retest that level, which is what we was looking for, or we're going to look for a setup at the next level right here. So gold also did a nice retest about 2 hours ago. So with gold, we're either going to look for price to retest 42.80, or if we can break above and maintain 42.98 as support, we're going to be looking for continued buys. We're going to switch to NAS because, again, this is why it's important to understand market structure. This is why I be talking about during the TikTok lives all the time. And, of course, why I wrote the playbook. Because remember yesterday I told y'all, we was not bearish. We just had reversal territory. Look how price ended yesterday, flipped back up. Right? And, again, we talked about that in the beginning of the week in the Sunday chart analysis, as well as we talked about that in yesterday's live stream. So we got a few subjects we're going to be looking at right here. Make sure to like the lives. Y'all hop up in here, y'all, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. But yeah, we're going to see what these charts got in store for us. But yeah, yesterday went absolutely crazy. And this is why yesterday I was talking about, again, this is where risk management is super important, right? Because again, obviously, if we look at how we've been doing so far this year, this has been the worst month, but we've been talking about this month forever. That's why I said this is the only month that I'm actually going to agree with people when they talk about price action is bad, because even last year around this time, things slowed down. Now, obviously, we're doing better than we did this time last year, but still, right? We went 27-3 last month, 30-4 last November. We wrapped up September 16-3. All right, we had 57.6, 89% win rate quarter 3. Quarter 2, we had a 90% win rate, and then quarter 1, we had a 90% win rate. So if we go back in time to last year, quarter 4, right, we took drastically less trades. But again, this week, it was a little bit choppy. But this is why it's important to stay cool, calm, and collected, understand the market structure, what's happening, and most importantly, do not over leverage or full pour every single fucking trade, right? Because again, imagine if we put, let's say we personal account we risked 8%, 10%, or funded account we risked 4% or some shit. We wouldn't even have another opportunity to try to make our money back for that day. And literally, GJ was the only trade that did not go as projected yesterday. GJ worked this out. Then what I said is I like GU and gold, really. What did GU do? GU flew all day yesterday. Then me and the members enter gold. Gold's still pumping. We introduced at the 930 candlestick. It's either the 930 or the 10 a.m. candlestick. Let's find out. So I'm going to make anything up. So let's see when we took this. We took this setup at the 10 a.m. candlestick. right? And then remember, I told you I was switching from NAS to US30 yesterday. US30 ended up flying all day yesterday as well as making all-time highs. So we're gonna be looking to see if we can catch the all-time highs on NAS100 today. Because again, if y'all was in yesterday's live stream, remember I said we was only looking for sell because it broke that level, but we wasn't in a downtrend yet. Look what price ended up doing. You guys looking and pushing back to the upside. All right, again, this is why it's important to understand the rules of price. All right, y'all. So what we're gonna be looking for now, we're gonna be looking for a retracement or a break and retest on gold. We're gonna be looking to see if NAS can break above maintain 25,670 as support. If so, we can provide to 25,715, also to 25,770. And then we're gonna be looking for a GU buy right here. We're gonna be seeing if we can maintain a 33.75 as support right here. Again, it is Friday. We had GBP news pop off. That's pretty much the only news we had today. So simply, we're just waiting for volume confirmations to be met. But yeah, I still like GU buys here. It's got a little bit of work to do, but buy is still valid right here. All right, new 15 just popped up. Look at that retest immediately. All right, y'all already know the drill. Make sure to like the lives. You'll hop up in here, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We're almost at 4,400 subscribers. We can get to that easily. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. I'm over here talking on mute. My bad, y'all. Yeah, I like this setup right here. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Y'all make sure to be on the lookout for that. Y'all been blowing up this video, so y'all must really fuck with this video right here. If you haven't checked that out yet, make sure to check that out. DJ buys is still valid. We just need some volume, right? So yesterday ended up being a retracement day, ended up retracing a decent amount, which is cool. So we can still look for buys on GJ. We just need a little bit of volume to pick up. So if GJ can break above and maintain a 2845 support, we can look for the same buy setup we took on Wednesday and attempted to take yesterday, going to 2860 and possibly to 20880. Right, so that's still a valid buy setup. We just need some volume there. GU, we did a nice move. We hit a level of traffic. We already retested this level below us. So as long as we can maintain 3375 support, rise back up to these highs right here is valid. Now for the uptrend to continue, we're going to need to maintain 3400 as support. New 5-minute just popped up. Again, did a nice retest. Again, imagine if we would have FOMO'd because price retested this low an hour ago. And then when 3 a.m. hit, we try to enter up here instead of waiting for price to come back down. We would have had a way worse RR and a way worse entry. But again, waiting for the retest. Now we have a way better entry right here. Always wait for that retest. Price always retests more times than not. If it doesn't retest, just wait for the next level. Right? Very simple. Right? Like just like here, off the 930 candlestick, price broke. How many of y'all think FOMO went for buys at this next level without waiting for the break and retest or the retracement? A bunch of people, right? And why did we wait for the retest? Because again, our rules are our rules for a reason. You know what I mean? And that's why we entered up the 10 a.m. candlestick, because the 930, let's move this out the way. The 930 candlestick was right here. That gave us the volume to break through this level. Then the 945 was the retest. Then after we closed and held here, 10 a.m., once price pushed back up, that's when we went for the buy. And as you can see, the volume came back in and pushed to the upside. So again, if y'all did not already, yes, it is Friday, but that does not matter. Hit that first link in the description. That's not the first link. Let's actually go to the first link. That'd help, right? But hit that first link in the description. Scroll to the beginning of the week, right? And watch the Sunday chart analysis. Like I always tell y'all, the Sunday chart analysis goes over not just what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but what we see price doing throughout the entire week. And at the beginning of the week, we talked about buys on gold. We talked about buys on NAS. Obviously, we didn't talk about US30. We talked about buys on GBPJPY, right? So if you check that Sunday chart analysis out, majority of the charts are going as projected. So we got some retracements going on with GU and GJ. But like always, we're going to hold to SL or TP gets hit. Again, y'all, from yesterday's live stream, every chart went as projected but GJ. Literally every single chart went as projected but GJ yesterday. GU ended up flying. Gold ended up flying. Obviously, we took that gold setup. NAS, we didn't take NAS, but we talked about US30. US30 ended up flying. So now for today, we're going to be looking for continued GU buys, continued gold buys, and then we're going to be looking for NAS100 buys right here. We're going to look for some setups here, though. We might, well, what's next week? I think next week's not the Christmas week, right? What do we got going on next week? Yeah, so after next week, that's when things are going to be super slow. We got a lot of news next week, though, so that should help with volume. So next week, after next week, that's when things are going to be slowing down because we got all the holidays and shit. What just happened to my music? What just happened to my music? Hold on one second. Here we go. But we'll deal with that when we deal with that. Again, as far as today, though, we don't have any news going on. We had GP news about an hour ago. We got nothing else going down today. So we're just waiting for volume and our confirmations to be met. So we almost hit TP1. So we're going to just let price do this thing right here. Let me see who I take that high out. Because we already had retracements take place at the beginning of the week. That higher high get made on Wednesday. Again, Fridays, usually we either see big pushes or retracements take place. So it's going to be interesting to see how GU plays out. Buys is still valid, though, because you're not going to go for sells in the uptrend. The New York session has been a lot better, at least for me this week. Well, pre-New York and New York, right? We didn't catch a lot cleaner setup during New York session this week, but we still got some decent setups London session or pre-New York. So we're still going to do what we're going to do. But again, months like these, weeks like these, this was really, really, really important to take full advantage of the wins you take, but also keep your risk on point as well. So if y'all didn't watch yesterday's live stream, I highly recommend checking out yesterday's live stream because we broke down a lot of stuff. And the members, check out earlier this week's. We didn't go live on FOMC, but we went live on 8:30 news before FOMC. So make sure to watch the recording of the news event we had on Wednesday if you're a member and student. All right. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we look at any charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. So again, we're looking for buys on everything again today. We're looking at GJ buys, GU buys, gold buys, NAS100 buys. We're going to leave US30 alone unless it does a big ass retracement because we rode all-time high up yesterday. I didn't catch every point on US30 yesterday, but I caught two positions. I caught this one pre-New York, and I took this one going into New York section right here. Yes, we just retested that level again. We're going to see how this next 15 plays out. We're about to hit TP1 right here. And we barely just missed it up. GJ hit the zone as well. It was still pushing. Nas is still chilling right there. I feel like Nas is about to tease a lot of people today. I can see that happening. Come on, we was right there. Come on, let's hit TP1. Let's see if we can hit it before this next 15 pops up. All right, there we go. Let's look if what's going down. TP1 hit. And of course, you want to know the SLTPs, all that good stuff. Use discount code holidays for 33% off. But I'm also visibly showing y'all because I'm just such a kind individual. Visibly on the screen what our TPs are looking at. All right, so this is where our TP2 is going to be at right here. GJ just broke this level as well, so let me let the members know GJ just broke the next zone. All right, so again, with GJ, we can look for the same setup we called on Wednesday and the same setup we went for yesterday, right? So GJ can maintain 208.45 as support. We can look for buys going to 208.60 and possibly up to 208.80. And gold's still pushing. One just gonna move that right there. I'm gonna put that right there. All right, so we're at TP1 right now. Let's get this thing keep on going. Yeah, so we're in profit on this right here. We got a little bit of work to do because to get to this next zone, we do got this level of traffic right here. So we're going to have to be able to break through that. But buys is still valid here, especially because we broke that level, then rejected back down. So I can see us riding that back up. We need to maintain this level here, though. So we're going to need some volume to break through that level right here. Gold's still pumping. So as far as gold's concerned, we're either going to look for price to retest and see if we can maintain 42.80 as support, or if we can break above and maintain 42.98 as support, we're going to be looking for buys going to 43.14. All right, let's see if we can keep pushing. All right, so let's see how gold reacts right here. New 5 minute about to pop up. Again, we're gonna be looking to see if we can retest and hold this level of support right here. What's going on, Mike? I see you up here. So right now we're in GU. We hit TP1 on GU. We're approaching TP2. And then we're looking for possible gold buys right here. So gold just broke this level. So we're either gonna look for price to retest and maintain 42.98 as support, and then look for buys going to 43.14, or we're gonna look for price to retest 42.80 and hold that support and look for buys. If y'all was in yesterday's live stream, remember we talked about gold buys, US30 buys, GU buys, and we took a L on GJ yesterday. But literally every other chart when that's projected. So we made our money back, not just on gold, but you could have made your money back on US30 or GU as well, because GU ended up flying also, right? So we're entering out this retest here. We hit TP1, we almost hit TP2. We're just looking for some volume to break through this level of traffic right here. And then we're also looking at possible NAS100 buys, but I feel like it's going to tease us into either pre-New York. Well, let's see what this next hour does, but if it doesn't do anything this next hour, it's probably going to tease us to pre-New York or New York session. But yeah, so new 15 just popped up. So we're gonna be looking to see if gold can retest right here. And then we're gonna be looking to see if GU can break through that next level of traffic. We're gonna be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If y'all got any questions, drop them in the chat. When I'm looking at your charts, drop them in the chat. But you already know the drill. It's just the patience and waiting game. And that's the reality of trading, right? So I see a lot of videos, a lot of people will ask me, like, it's not quick, it's not fast paced, right? It's not quick. It's quick when there's volume, but when you're waiting for your confirmations, you just got to sit back and relax, right? So again, even my trade breakdowns or these 30-second videos you see on TikTok, that's not the realistic side of trading. Because even when they do those when they record themselves in the trade, those things be fast forwarded most of the time, right? But they're also not recording and showing you how long it took them to wait for this setup to come and all this other shit, right? Every day is a little bit different. You do the same shit every day, but every day is a little bit different. So I'm looking for a retest right here. This would have been the initial entry, but as you can see, obviously it did that move 2 hours before we went live and 2 hours before London session, so there's nothing we can do about that. Again, y'all, we don't break out trade. We always wait for a retest. Because more times than not, price is always going to retest, like we talked about earlier in today's live stream, right? This was the 9:30 open candlestick on gold. How many of y'all think was FOMO because we saw price do this big push and try to break out, try to enter here? But what we did was waited for the retest, and then we caught the full move. You see what I'm saying? So always wait for the retest. More times than not, price always retest. And if you miss the retest, just look for the next best entry. Very simple. Very simple. So we're still chilling at TP1 on GU. GJ is trying to go back above this level. Again, if GJ can hold a 208.45 support, we can look for buys for the 208.60, possibly up to 208.70, 208.80. This was just a new higher high. It's just so happened to be the new higher high in the 4 hour. See if we can break this traffic right here. We're in profit on this though. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Y'all make sure to have y'all's noties on and be on the lookout for that. Drop some videos for y'all this week as well. So make sure to catch up to those today and this weekend. All playlists are up to date. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see that scrolling at the bottom of y'all screens. Instagram, Playmaker_Way, TikTok, _Playmakerway_. Post daily on both pages. There goes GJ breaking that level. You can see GU's going to follow suit. Yeah, we just got to break out this level of traffic right here. Yeah, we had a higher low take place yesterday. So we can hold this low. We can see a new higher high get made to them. At least go back to the previous higher high. Yeah, y'all, there's no news today, so we're simply just waiting for volume and our confirmations to be met. We might have to wait till New York, if not New York session again. But that's kind of how the vibe's been this week. A lot of the moves been really been playing out going into New York session. So we hit TP1 on G. We almost have TP2. We're retesting this level right here. Gold's still pushing, so again, we're just looking for some retest on gold. Whether that happens now or going into New York session, but buys is still valid on gold, right? So we're either going to look for price to retest 42.98 or retest 42.80, and we'll see if we can hold this level of support, or if it keeps on pushing, and we can maintain 43.16 as support. We could look for continued buys going to the upside as well, going towards the all-time highs. I'm not sure we're going to hit the all-time high today, but we're going to be looking for buys on that. NAS, we're going to be looking for buys as well. Now, NAS has kind of been chilling, right? It's been just ranging the past few weeks, right? But if we can maintain 25,670 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 25,760. I'm not looking for buys below here. I'm not really looking for sales on NAS today either, unless it does like a big ass drop. But buys is what I'm looking for on NAS today. Again, it's just a region right now, so we might just have to wait till New York session for that. And then GJ, if we can maintain 2845 support, you can look for buys going to 2860, excuse me, and possibly to 2870. All right, y'all. Again, I got a new video dropping for y'all later on today. Make sure I have y'all's notice on to be on the lookout for that. But yeah, again, it's just one of those weeks. It's a little bit slow, but we're still up for the week, which is important, especially with that gold setup. Again, this is why risk reward is important. And to risk the same amount every single trade is important because literally the only trade that didn't US projected yesterday was GJ. You get that back in New York session off this gold setup. You could also made it back in pre-New York off this US30 setup. Or you could have took one of these two GU setups, right? Because I ended up taking two GU setups. Enter here, re-enter here. Initial setup right here with the 7. This one with the 4. And that wasn't even riding the full wave out. That was just, you know what I mean? But yeah, so let's see how GU plays out. And we're going to be looking for retest on gold. And then we're going to see if NAS wake up for us. And also see, if GJ is going to make a higher high today. Or if we're going to just look for some more buys going into next week. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody who's been live since the beginning. Shout out to everybody who's been live since y'all joined. Special shout out to those that's been in the live streams this week because obviously y'all can see the numbers been a little bit lower, but that's because the markets are slower. But again, the markets are not going to always be fast paced all the time. You have to not just be interested when there's action. You got to get used to this side of trading as well because again, when you actually got your strategy down, know what your game plan is. Trading isn't fast paced or action packed. It's more of a slow paced thing. That's why I got the chill music playing because that's the vibe you need to have. You need to relax, wait for price to come to you, meet your confirmations, not meet your confirmations, just pull the trigger, let the volume do what the volume's going to do. All right, y'all. But yeah, so members already know a few hours we do the New York price watch list for y'all, but I'm about to take care of a few things before the session starts. Again, I got some new posts lined up for y'all Instagram and TikTok as well, so make sure to follow me on those. You see them scrolling on the screens. And yeah, we'll be back at it same time next week. Monday session 3 a.m. EST.